Right, so impromptu interview with Josh Astrop for L.Artcast. Josh has got his first exhibition tonight at Marefair Gallery in Northampton. So we'll just say a quick hello to Josh. Hello, Josh.
Hello, Jason.
We're doing this straight into the phone, so hopefully it will come out well. Josh, tell us about Complexion.
Yeah, it's a show about... Well, I think the name Complexion came up with sort of two opposing ideas that sort of come together. I was not a happy person, and I was walking around on my own, just filling my time, and started to take loads of pictures, and some of them turned out quite well. And sort of a long story short, through like a period where I wasn't doing great, something really nice came out of, and I discovered that I like taking pictures, and it's a hobby now, you know. It's something I do for fun, something that makes me happy, and I've been able to have an exhibition, and people have been buying them.
Yeah,
it's just been weird
Someone's
and amazing.
Just swept one out from underneath me.
I know, sorry, mate.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Thank you. Good to see you. Yeah, take care.
Yeah, so so I've just had a little look around and really love the exhibition. I think it's great, actually. And I've seen them on Instagram, obviously, but having seen them sort of close up and blown up as well. So, by the way, we should say they're on iPhone, aren't they? They're iPhone.
Yeah, that's the thing. I've taken on an iPhone 12 mini, but purely because I was taking them and my only intention was to share them on Instagram stories. So they're 9x16, the right dimension for Instagram stories. And I had no intention of printing them or doing anything else with them. I just took a picture that I thought looked good and put some music with it. I thought sounded the way it looked, you know, had the same feel, or what my intention was. So yeah, now having to print them, obviously 9x16 is an unusual dimension for a real print.
Yeah.
So it's
Is
tricky.
that right?
Yeah, I mean, normal photographs are like, what are they, 3x5, 5x3?
Do you know what? Now you mention it, you can actually see it, can't you?
Yeah.
Especially on the larger ones.
And it's stupid. It's a stupid idea.
Yeah.
It makes it more complicated. It works perfectly on Instagram stories, but when it comes to printing it and putting it in a frame, it's an awkward dimension to work with, because it's just thin and it's narrow and tall, which is not, frames aren't made that way. So unless you have custom frames made, which is very expensive, you have to make it work. So, but I think we did a good job, thanks to Bill Pollard, previous guest of yours.
I'm trying to do a podcast without him being mentioned.
Oh, sorry, mate.
He gets mentioned every time.
Yeah, well, I mean, unfortunately, you're going to struggle with that.
Yeah, I might edit that bit out. So, just quickly going back to the photography then, do you open Instagram and use the story camera, or do you take the photo from the phone and then add it into the story?
So I either use the camera app, the iPhone camera app, or in Lightroom you can use the camera feature in there, and there's a few more features in Adobe Lightroom, and then I edit them all in Lightroom.
Because they're all in black and white, aren't they?
They're all in black and white, yeah. Because initially I thought that was easier. I feel like there's more mistakes you can make with colour, and I wanted to take some photos that were fairly simple to edit with my rudimentary skills, and also followed a theme, so they were all similar, and I felt like black and white was easier, and I just feel like that's more I think it suited the mood, my mood at the time, black and white.
Well, I think I'd say you've hit on like a really good style for yourself straight away. What I really love, just looking in through the window now, is like, it's quite amazing how the light sort of like, so let's say for example you've got an alleyway, you've got quite a few alleyways here, haven't you?
Yep.
And at night, and you still manage to capture that light. Yeah. Really moody. Did that sort of surprise you that it came out as good as that? Or?
Well, yeah, I think that's why I took them, because it was dark and there wasn't a lot going on and a lot of detail. The street lights sort of really give it some focus, and sort of reduce the amount of detail in the picture, which means the focus points were more focused. Yeah. Because there's less. Yeah, the other areas were dark. There's an element of chance in there in the beginning, because I didn't know what I was doing, but I definitely started to look for that as it progressed.
Yeah. Should we go in and talk about some?
Yeah, go on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So. Should we start number one, Gallery Alley?
Yeah.
Also, so number one, love.
Yeah, so that's the Francis Jetty, which was also the name of the band in Northampton that were very good.
Right.
Obviously, the alley
I was going to say.
Which is the alley down the side of Revolution. But
I remember it well. Yeah.
Yeah, I walk. Yeah, a lot of people have walked down there or pissed down there. I walk past that alley several times a day because it's near my work. And for whatever reason, I think one of the first ones I took was of a dark alley, and it just looked nice and interesting. But as I look down that one, there's always graffiti there, but I think it gets cleaned up pretty quick. But that one was that graffiti that says "fuck love, I miss," and then "you" is crossed out, and they've written me above it, so I miss me, and that just sort of resonated with me a little bit at the time.
That is,
and I thought actually that's fucking amazing.
Yeah, it's quite poignant, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's not. Well, I mean, I've no place to say, but it's not like intricate graffiti. It's literally just spray painted text on a wall.
I wonder whether the "you" and "me" is done by the same person. I miss you, and someone's come along and crossed out "you" and put "me." It looks like the same writing, doesn't it?
Yeah, I didn't think of that actually. I assumed it was the same person.
Because if that was done during sort of lockdowns or coronavirus, you'd understand that feeling behind that.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
What about probably?
Well, that's on the same street but further up the road, looking down, and it's obviously wet floor, looking down towards the Carlsberg Brewery. But that's near my work, so I again walk up and down there all the time. But it just so happened that that night it was, you can see the Carlsberg Brewery quite far away, and you could see the lit up sign. It looked quite nice. Yeah. But with the downlighting of the street light, it just looked sort of put a natural border on it, maybe.
Again, it's very atmospheric.
Yeah, and the light off the water on the road. It just felt like a nice picture.
What's creating the light on this side? Is it just the light from the flats opposite?
I think so. Yeah, because there's no windows or anything on this left side but it is lit up quite well. It's amazing actually, because I mean, if you guys come and see this, it's at Marefair Gallery until, I'm not sure, 2 weeks from the 22nd.
2 weeks, So the one that we're just looking at now, probably you start really dark right down in the left hand corner, but when you look sort of up to the eye level, it's very bright, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it's really, really effective. Very atmospheric.
Well, I mean, I do edit the photos, so that's not the original photo that was taken. But I don't do any sort of Photoshop editing out of any elements or smoothing or anything like that. So you can actually see digital distortion in that picture.
This is the one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it might be.
Yeah. Which I initially I didn't know that was going to happen until we printed it.
Yeah.
Maybe that comes with experience, I don't know. But I was a bit disappointed because I thought I sort of managed to, although they're all taken on an iPhone, I'd managed to sort of remove the fact that it was perhaps a lesser quality camera.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter what you take a picture with. But actually, I think that's sort of like a clue.
It's evidence.
Yeah, it's a clue of what it was taken on.
Yeah.
I think it adds character to it actually.
Yeah, and like you say, the reflection or the light reflecting in the sort of looks like it's just rain, doesn't it?
Yeah.
What about Gallery Alley then?
Well, I'm going to disappoint you again here, Jason.
Yeah.
I'm going to mention Bill Pollard.
Oh God.
Because I was walking. This is the alley down by West End DIY.
Yeah, I know this one. Yeah.
But on the left-hand side of the alley, as you walk towards the drapery, there's loads of frames.
Yeah.
And I saw it, and I thought, like, there's nothing in those frames. It would be good to do something in there. And Bill is somebody who likes the idea of that, I think. So we spoke about, or I asked him if he wanted to do something with it. We haven't got around to it yet. But I just thought it was like a gallery. Presumably they used to have adverts in them. Yeah. For either Debenhams, which I think that's what that was, or the DIY place. But I just thought it was nice how it was the sort of frames down one side, empty frames, but also like a really old-fashioned street light in the middle.
Brilliant.
Walked down the alley, walked down the road, looked down the alley. I thought, oh, that looks cool. Yeah. And
So when you're walking around, I mean, you're not heading to this alley specifically for a photograph. It's kind of as you wander.
Yeah, I found that when I go out to take pictures, I very rarely take a good picture. The best ones are like random. I mean, that probably sounds a bit like a cliche, maybe, like, but then maybe that's inspiration. Like you can't plan inspiration.
I think cliches are just born out of times gone by because it's been said a lot because it's true. I mean, that's what a cliche is, isn't it?
True. I've not thought about it like that actually. Yeah.
So again, we've got sort of alleyway. We've got the lights. We've got sort of maybe some flats up here or something.
Yeah.
Or maybe people still at work, and then it just disappears into blackness above. So yeah, brilliant. Moving down. Yeah. Do you want to go in any order?
Go in that order.
Yeah.
The order they're in. Yeah.
Can I just? So this is Gold. Can I just Can I guess that this is Gold Street?
Yeah. Guessed correctly.
Right.
So
Brilliant.
that's Gold Street approaching from the left, and then College Street from the right. So it's on the corner of those two. I think it's a arcadey thing underneath or something.
Yeah.
But just noticed it. Really cool, beautiful building. I don't know what style of architecture that is. I'm not clued up on that, but it's beautiful wherever it is. But it just looked nice. It looked really sort of imposing. And I just thought that would make a good picture.
Yeah. So what we've got here is maybe it's almost half the picture frame is taken up with the building pointing upwards, almost like an arrow from the top, isn't it?
Yeah.
Or an apex. It's more grayscale than black and white, this one, isn't it?
Yeah.
More because of daylight, I suppose.
It was. This was middle of the day.
Yeah, the architecture of this, and this has been mentioned before. Miranda Smart mentioned that we don't look up enough, but there are some really incredible buildings to look up at in Northampton.
Exactly. That is exactly why how that picture came about.
Yeah.
I noticed it. It's been there all along, but I never looked at it. Yeah.
So we've got Cross.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This was taken on top of a car park above. By the roadbend, I can't remember what the car park's called.
Marefair.
Is it the Marefair?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So I went up there one night and it was completely empty, and it was so like top floor of an open car park. It's quite a large car park, and there was nobody about. It was great, and you could just look down on everyone. I'm not a massive creep. It sounds like I'm some sort of night creeper, but I thought it was quite peaceful actually. The absence of other people. Looking towards the lift tower, of course.
Yeah.
I've got a lot of pictures of the lift tower.
Yeah.
I think it symbolises Northampton to me. Yeah. And I like Northampton, so that
bang in the centre. It looks quite, I don't know, not ominous, but there's definitely sort of a power to that. You've got the cloud behind it.
Yeah.
The sun looks like a sunset, perhaps.
Yeah.
And it looks really strong in the back of the picture there.
Yeah, I mean, you can see it's actually taken on half zoom. You know, you can zoom out further than standard on iPhones. So you can see it starts to bend in on the edges. I suppose it's like a fisheye lens effect.
Red dot. I bet Bill's bought that, has he?
No.
Oh, who's bought that?
Mo.
Ah, okay.
Do you know Mo? You know Mo, Adam House.
Oh yeah. Well, it was another. Anyway, we'll go into that later. But that would have been another one on.
Yeah. That was one of the first ones I took actually. Just because it's a photo of looking down Bridge Street at Bill's Goodwill sign.
Yeah, Goodwill painting, isn't it?
Yeah. Which is great. I love the painting, and I love how and why it was done. And yeah, because it was locked down, there was next to nobody about, which is not something you see very often on Bridge Street, or you probably won't now. Bridge Street at night.
I think one of the most powerful things is how the light in these shots really is one of the main features. You know, because you've sort of done a great job of sort of blacking out in places and bringing the light up in other places. And the way that Goodwill sort of is lit up there, I mean, you just wouldn't have thought you could get that much light out of the night and an iPhone.
It took a few attempts, to be honest. Most I don't take long to take the pictures. Maybe that's a
keep doing that.
Keep doing it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely.
Well, maybe that's just the nature of using your phone to take photos rather than a camera, where you have more settings to take advantage of, or if you don't get it right on a real camera, you won't get a good picture. Whereas the iPhone covers up a lot of your mistakes, I think.
Something that's just occurred to me is that I think they're also undateable in a way. These could almost be at any time in the last...
Yeah.
Because this car, for example...
Yeah, you can't tell.
That looks like an old car.
Yeah.
And it might be just the way it's moving or the light on it.
They're timeless, Jess. They are
timeless. Yeah, exactly.
You're completely right. These will be good for centuries.
Yeah. A beacon of hope.
Yeah. Now, that is Beacon Bingo.
Brilliant.
Yeah?
Yeah, lovely play on words there.
Thanks, mate.
Yeah.
You know what? I sort of didn't think of that myself. I took a different picture of the lift tower, and somebody said, "Oh, you always see that when you're driving back off the F1. It's like a beacon of hope." But I thought no, maybe Ace and Stevenson, Death House, excellent artist. He might have commented on this actually and said that. So that is, either way, it's not my name.
Yeah.
I'm not taking credit for that. But that was just another random chance picture. I was giving a friend a lift to... She needed to take a parcel somewhere to a shop, and there was only one shop that would accept it. So we did that. And while I was waiting outside, I looked out the window, and that was the view.
Yeah.
And it just... I don't know, it just works well. I mean, maybe it's my lack of education in photography that I'm not sure why it works, but my eye tells me that it does.
I think that's all you need.
Okay.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that was St Giles Street at Christmas. It looked pretty. Yeah. And again, no one walking about. A few cars dotting about. But it just looked nice. But then there's because it's dark and moody, like all the others. It just sort of adds a just a darker element to Merry Christmas.
Yeah, well, definitely, yeah.
Which is normally cheery.
Also, this is either, well, I would have said this is after the lockdown, third lockdown, or at that time.
Yeah.
So this is after Christmas.
Yeah.
So we went into that lockdown, didn't we?
Yeah.
So I mean, that definitely has a sort of like gives it a different spin because there is no one around.
No.
Normally there'd be a lot of people there, wouldn't there?
Yeah.
So this is my favourite.
Yeah.
Probably a lot of people's favourite, Penguin. So you're really lucky to get this.
Spring Burrows, isn't it?
Yeah. It's just what's been demolished over here, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, someone took a great picture of it being demolished, and I thought, I'll go down and see if I can get a nice one. And I was really rushed, and I only had 5 minutes, so I just took a picture. And it wasn't until I started editing it that I saw that there was somebody who graffitied a penguin on the wall there. Yeah.
No, I love that, and I nearly had.
You nearly got it.
Never mind. She did say that she was deliberating for 10 minutes before she went for it, and I'd probably already made my mind up at that stage. I'm going to whinge on about that for a long time.
It's fine.
University.
Yeah. This is under the new bridge down by the canal at the Waterside campus. I was hiding under there because it was really heavy rain.
Yeah. It's quite a murky one, isn't it?
Yeah. It just sort of like the university is supposed to be a symbol of hope and like education and bettering yourself, but then it was really dark and miserable and heavy rain. Everyone that was in the park was like running under trees and under cover and stuff. So it just felt.
Yeah, so there's definitely a bleakness to that. Like you said, there's no one around in anything.
No, none of them have got anything. Yeah.
It's almost like 28 days later.
I know.
Yeah.
I do love that film, so maybe there's something there.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So another really great one, Ali.
Yeah.
Far Away, and this is very impactful for so many reasons.
Yeah.
Go on.
Yeah, that's the alley from Drapery to College Street, next to Timpson's, down the bottom, which is now covered by a gate at both ends.
Right.
So you can't get down it anymore.
This alley?
Okay. Yeah. I think somebody was attacked in there or something along those lines, so they decided to shut it off. Because it is a very narrow, smelly alley, dark. But again, just walked past it at night, looked down there, and I thought that just looked a bit scary. So it's just like it just framed really well. I mean, it's an alley, so it's door shaped all the way down. Yeah. Which lends itself well to a 9:16 aspect ratio.
This is perfect for it, isn't it? Yeah, absolutely.
That's probably why I've got a few pictures of alleys.
Yeah.
Because they're already in the right dimension.
Yeah. but it frames it really well. Again, you've got the incredible lighting, the one light sort of, well, you've got two light sources actually, but the one real prominent one is that sort of light in the middle there.
It's quite industrial
sort of thing going on. We've got
and you can see some flyers and stickers that people have stuck to the side.
Get Swing Fit.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
And you can't read, and obviously the Jesus is Lord sticker there, which is plastered around town everywhere.
So, yeah, brilliant. One of my faves.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I've got quite a few favourites.
It's my favourite. Yeah.
So that's Josh Astrop, and it's Complexion, Marefair. So alongside Josh, he's not on his own here. There's a girl by the name of Rebecca Swan showing as well. So thank you, Josh. Thanks for being on the podcast.
My pleasure, mate.
Yeah. We'll see you soon.
Yeah.